Welcome to the Tech Life Well podcast. We're delighted to have you with us.
Where we make technology simple, thoughtful, and useful. For more insights and episodes, visit techlifewell.com.
Okay, so we've all been there, right? You get handed a new project.
Yeah.
Or maybe you just need to get up to speed on something fast.
Mm-hmm.
And before you know it, you are just buried under this mountain of digital stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking about, a pile of Word documents, some ancient PDFs, a few random spreadsheets.
And none of them are formatted the same way.
Not at all.
Yeah.
It's like trying to navigate a conversation where everyone is speaking a different language. It just creates this instant overload.
It's what I call format friction. The problem isn't that you don't have the information. You have tons of it. The problem is that the sources, they just won't talk to each other.
Exactly. And that is the mission for this deep dive. We want to show you a strategic technique to turn that pile of clutter into actual usable knowledge. And do it fast.
Right?
We're going to look at how these advanced AI tools, specifically large language models, LLMs, can be like a secret weapon.
A secret sauce, almost.
Yeah. A secret sauce to compile resources, pull out recommendations, and get real insights from all that, non-uniform data. We're replacing the manual work with intelligent synthesis.
And that's so critical because, in a world of listicles and top 10 articles, the real bottleneck for professionals is making their own messy internal files work for them.
That's a great point.
I mean, if you have to spend 2 days just copying and pasting from a PDF into a spreadsheet to make sense of something, you've already lost. So this technique, it's really about getting that efficiency back.
Okay, so let's ground this in a real-world example, because that's where this method, I think, really starts to click.
Sure.
We're going to talk about Maggie Mao. She's a community engagement partnership lead.
So she works with volunteer networks.
Exactly. And her biggest challenge is that she constantly needs to get clear, up-to-date, and super easy to navigate resources into the hands of her volunteers.
She's basically a knowledge broker, but the material she's starting with is, I'm guessing, inherently messy.
Totally messy. She's hunting for these little resource gems that might be buried in, like a 10-year-old PDF that was badly scanned, or some super complex spreadsheet that only the person who made it understands.
Right, and she can't just tell her volunteers, hey, here are 6 documents, go figure it out. That's not helpful.
So how does an AI tool fundamentally change her process here?
Well, it acts as an information normalization engine. That's the key.
Normalization engine, okay.
So when you upload different files, say a spreadsheet with locations and a PDF with policy stuff, the LLM does something called multimodal processing. It basically reads the structure of everything.
So it's not just the words, it's the tables, the lists.
Everything. It converts it all into these internal representations, sometimes they're called vector embeddings, which lets it treat a number in a table cell and a sentence in a paragraph as sort of equally relevant data points.
Oh.
It ingests it all, figures out the core meaning, and then, this is the crucial part, it allows Maggie to tell it exactly how to structure the output in a brand new unified way.
That sounds incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
But it also brings up a really important question for anyone listening who deals with sensitive data.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, we're talking about uploading proprietary documents, internal spreadsheets, client files, policy PDF into an external tool. What's the risk there? Are they secure?
That is the first question anyone in a professional setting needs to ask. And the answer is, it completely depends on the tool and your subscription level.
Okay.
If you're using a free public-facing version of an LLM, that's a model trained on huge amounts of public text and code, by the way, there's a risk your data could be used for future model training.
So rule number 1 is check the terms of service.
Always. If you're using client data or anything proprietary, you have to be on a paid, enterprise, or private instance where the platform explicitly guarantees your data is kept private and isn't used for training.
Got it. So there are secure options out there.
Precisely. A lot of big companies are now using private versions of these models, like running on their own internal clouds, to get around that exact risk. But for Maggie, who's dealing with public community resources that are just, scattered and messy, using a tool like Claude.ai is a huge win as long as she's following her organization's standard data privacy rules.
And what's great is that this whole methodology is transferable. Once you've figured out the privacy piece for your own work, you can use this for anything. I mean, bringing order to a chaotic shared drive, making sense of survey data that came in 5 different formats, compiling internal reports.
Anytime you have files that just won't talk to each other, this strategy applies. It's about using the AI's structural intelligence, not just asking it for a summary.
Okay, so let's get into the specifics. The tool and the strategy. Maggie is using Claude.ai for this.
Right, but we should stress this is about the method, not the specific product.
Absolutely. You can use any advanced LLM that can handle file uploads, and this is the important part, supports multi-step conversations.
That phrase, multi-step conversation, that's everything. This is not the old way of just pasting text into a box and clicking summarize.
Sure.
This is about structuring a deliberate two-stage dialogue with the tool to get exactly what you need.
Okay, let's break down step one then. This is where you introduce the data, but more importantly, you define the exact structure and the strategic priority of what you want back.
You're setting the rules of the game right from the start. You're giving it the why and the how before it even starts processing.
So Maggie isn't just uploading 2 documents about housing and saying, summarize this.
No, she's defining the context of the user, the audience.
And that audience context is the game changer. She tells the AI that these documents are for clients who've been affected by major disasters and are in urgent need of housing.
Right. And that immediately changes the whole hierarchy of information, doesn't it?
Completely.
Mm-hmm.
If she just asked for a summary, she might get a list that talks about student rental assistance first. Useless in a crisis.
Exactly. She bypasses that risk by embedding the strategic need right into the very first instruction. It's like telling the tool, hey, when you read this, I need you to put on the hat of an emergency responder.
So here's the specific prompt she used, and it's a fantastic template for anyone listening. She says, I have 2 documents on local housing resources. I want you to help organize the information in both documents into one and categorize it in a logical way where government assistance programs are prioritized. I give these documents out to clients who have been affected by disasters and are in need of housing.
Just look at the efficiency of that instruction.
Right.
She hasn't just asked for aggregation. She has instructed the AI to curate the information based on a strategic hierarchy. The LLM understands the weight of affected by disasters, and it uses that to shape the entire output.
It's no longer a neutral summary. It's a crisis response tool.
Exactly.
And crucially, that first output, even though it's strategically sound in its categories, is almost never the final product.
And this is the pro tip. This is what so many people miss when they start experimenting.
They stop after one prompt.
Yeah, they stop too early. You're leaving, like, half the value on the table if you do that.
Yeah.
You have to embrace iteration. Think of it as a dialogue, a series of quick quality checks where you are the editor and the user experience expert.
You have to ask, okay, is this actually practical for the person who has to use it?
Does it meet their human needs? Not just, does it contain the right words?
So that brings us to step 2, the refinement. Maggie gets her first version back. The categorization is good, it prioritized the right stuff, but she spots some major usability flaws.
The presentation.
Yeah, the format was maybe a bit clunky, too dense, and something really important was missing.
And instead of spending hours reformatting it herself, she just tells the tool what's wrong.
Right. And she focuses on the utility. She says basically that the categorization is fine, but the formatting is not ideal or easy to navigate.
Okay.
And here's where the conversational part really makes a difference. She realizes that her original documents had live, clickable links that her clients desperately need.
And they got lost in the shuffle.
They got lost in that first synthesis. So she immediately asked the LLM to put them back in.
So her follow-up prompt is direct and strategic. Something like,
Yeah, she says, I think the categorization is fine, but the formatting is not ideal or easy to navigate. Plus, my original document included links for clients to easily navigate. Please redo the output with live, clickable hyperlinks clearly marked and use bullet points for ease of scanning.
That is perfect. That shows the critical difference between just getting a summary and designing a useful tool.
She's demanding that the AI act as a document designer, not just a text condenser.
Exactly. She's pushing it past just processing information and into designing for accessibility. The AI becomes a collaboration partner.
And the goal shifts. It's not just about condensation anymore.
No, it's about usability. Are the links live? Is the formatting easy to scan? And it's about maintaining that strategic priority she set up in the very first prompt. That whole dialogue corrects a technical error, the missing links, while also improving the user interface with the bullet points. It's brilliant.
Okay, so let's bring this all home and really summarize the core lesson here. Maggie herself said that her success came from a series of conversations with Claude until I got what I needed.
A series of conversations. It's not a one-and-done command. It's a structured, iterative dialogue.
And that dialogue requires you, the user, to do some real critical thinking.
Oh, for sure. You have to be specific about what's working in the AI's output, and more importantly, what isn't working for your final goal.
It's that iterative process that moves you past a simple summary.
And into true high-value information synthesis and utility design. The AI is doing the heavy lifting, parsing all the messy formats, but you are providing the high-level strategic oversight.
So what does this all mean for the professional who feels like they're drowning in documents?
It means the AI can tackle that administrative headache of incompatible files for you.
And transform that messy pile into a single, strategically organized, and actually navigable resource.
Which then lets people in any field, whether it's project management or community work like Maggie's, shift their focus from wrangling documents to doing their actual high-level work.
Supporting their stakeholders, making recommendations, the stuff that matters.
It's a huge efficiency booster. And, here's a final thought for you to take away and mull over.
Okay.
We are all constantly bombarded with non-uniform information, right? Research papers, meeting notes, specs from different vendors. So the question is, how much of your valuable time can you save this week by treating the synthesis of your own messy files not as a single task, but as a deliberate, iterative conversation with an LLM?
That's a powerful question.
It really is. It makes you wonder, what other process in your organization is currently bogged down just because of different file formats? What could you unlock by simply having a structured, two-step strategic dialogue with the tool? Go test out the power of that follow-up prompt.